Yo, what's up, simps, pimps, foos, crooks? Yeah, this is Alex here with the power rankings.
Hey guys, it's Okan here as well.
We don't have any cool backgrounds for y'all today, but after the week one games, we're gonna talk about who is this looking the scariest right now, who just got unlucky week one, who needs to maybe step it up next week. And yeah, let's get right into it. So for 12, and by the way, we ranked all of these compositely and then we combined all of those rankings to see on average what we thought everybody was. So 12 we
And
have the Charleston Charizards. Okay.
Bryce is here with our thoughts.
Yeah.
He also did the ranking, but he's not here.
Mhm.
So let's start with Trust and Charizard. I think you guys were harsher on him than I was. I don't think he actually prepped bad or played too terribly. He had one really obvious misplay, which was staying in with Jirachi against Quagsire because his Jirachi got weakened and he gained nothing from the exchange. And he had the Leafeon in the back. I think he had other mons that could have switched in as well. I think Jirachi was the worst possible Pokemon to stay in. And the other point is, I think the game showed how he's weak to Trick Room. And Trick Room in singles it's not a viable option generally, but when your slowest mon is Crocodile with 92 base speed, well, you're gonna get Trick Roomed.
And
And he
yeah.
did.
And another thing too is that his team relies a fair amount on Jirachi for defensive utility.
Yeah.
And if he can't bring that, if he brings it next week and he's not able to bring it the week after that, his team's not going to have any defensive utility. So he's really going to have to play with the U turns and the volt switches and all that kind of trickery if he wants to win a
He's
game.
playing against me next week.
Oh, well, he's going to have to go.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to have to go off against you, which he can. Anybody can in this league, from what we see.
Anybody. Yeah, I don't think there's too much power difference between teams or players. I
No.
think and I think it's my fifth or sixth season with Spencer in. I think he's getting better.
And Spencer's an absolute vet. I mean, if we're talking from experience, Spencer's got as much experience as anybody here, and his team is scary as hell. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if you make one misplay against Spencer's team, that's probably a dead Pokemon because odds are you're going to be up against a Lycanroc midday, a Crocodile, or like something like that, where
The
you're going
least
to die.
offensive one is Shirachi, which can 6-0 by itself just
Yeah,
because of flinches and such.
exactly. So even though he is last in the standings, I don't think that means that it's an easy week against him by any means. I mean, this team can
Uh,
win any week.
yeah, I didn't put him in the last. That's like I said, I don't think he prepped bad. And out of that one huge misplay, I don't think. I mean, even that didn't cause him to lose. Like the matchup was bad. Herdiers had good trick room options and they used it.
Yeah,
So I think he is, he can just cause lots of upsets in the following weeks.
and I wouldn't even consider it that much of an upset. But let's get into number 11. If we keep doing this, I think it'd be like an hour long.
Yeah,
So
yeah, sure.
number 11, which is you.
Yeah,
Uh, what
let
do
me
you
get
have to
my
say?
wine.
What do you have to? Yeah, that might help out. What do you have to
Yeah,
say for yourself, Okan?
I okay. I said the Jurech play was bad for Spencer. My Dragapult play was, I think, the worst I've ever played in competitive Pokemon in my history. Like, I think the game was 3 versus 4. He had -2 King Bach, Scarf, what was it?
Uh,
Drowdon, and it was -2, I think. And I had Keldeo, which could have tanked and one shot, and Magnezone, which could have tanked anything, either one shot or just volt switch to, get better position, anything I would like. And then I choose to go Dragapult and let it die for some reason. There was no reason at all. So I think that like the moment I lost the game is clear. Like the misplay is clear. And then
Yeah.
I really didn't prep for Scarf Duraldon, which destroyed my team.
Right.
I didn't prep for it at all. I didn't have a solid answer to it. I mean, Assault Test Magnezot was a really solid answer to it. I think the best it could do was Dark Post, which did 20%, and I was two-shotting it with Body Press, but still.
And I think too. I mean, I think you being at 11th kind of speaks to, again, like the depth of this league. Like you've literally been in the championship, like half the leagues we've been in, and you're currently second to last, which I think shows that just having a good team isn't good enough to win every week, especially with fatigue. You have to play well every week too.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
Like, I mean, I can see. Even if I didn't go to Dragapult, the correct play was, looking back at it now, I should have gone to Magnezone. The correct play was that. Even if I did that, I could have still lost the game. But it can show you the one mistake. It can change everything. Like the one mistake, I can just pinpoint the mistake, and the one mistake that can cause you the game. Like none of the teams were bad. Even the meme team, which can be said for Ryan's team, even the meme team is not a bad team.
Right.
Because
Right.
of all the hustles.
And we're gonna get to them.
I'm sad.
But next up, we have, speaking of meme teams, the Serbian Scrafties, run by my little bro. I have to say, this match was interesting. I think Matthew prepped better than you think he did, because I remember you saying
he's prepping himself, right? Like, does he get any help? I can coach Matthew.
Well, because here's one thing I would say. Again, my team is really hard to prep for because you don't know whether I'm bringing sun or rain. So
Yeah.
what he did was, if I brought sun, he actually brought Assault Vest Chandelure for Venusaur, because Venusaur actually, even in the sun, can't touch Assault Vest Chandelure, which is a great play. I just brought rain, so he ended up sacking it off, and you didn't see it. And then Ferrothorn was obviously for rain team, and that kind of worked because it completely stuffed Kingdra for me.
It does, but I mean, I wouldn't bring Ferrothorn against you. Like, you had two Urshifus. One of them is coming for sure.
But
so like, I wouldn't use it.
Matthew's true downfall was that he completely forgot about Shedinja, as most people do, because I was talking to him after the match. Boltund didn't have anything that hit Shedinja. Gyarados didn't have anything that hit Shedinja, and as a setup mon, that's bad. And
still died to rocks, right?
It died to rocks. I sacked it off at some point.
Yeah.
But I think Matthew's main mistake was definitely not just accounting for Shedinja and bringing like Crunch on Boltund or something. And I do agree with you that Boltund and Chandelure being fatigued is definitely going to hinder him next week, because those are both very good Pokemon.
Yeah, this week we only have 3 months fatiguing, and 2 of them are from his team, so he has only 10 months to prep with, and which means he'll have to use he can use 6 new months, yeah, for sure, but yeah, he can't use this 2 next week. And looking at it, I think the Chandelure one was understandable. Bolton was just pure luck. It's died to crit. I mean, it was a Urshifu crit, but it was a one that can count because it was close combat, I think.
Yeah, it was close combat. Yeah. And another thing
Poor
he did
guy.
another thing he did really well. He actually brought Scarf Boltund because he predicted me scarfing my Urshifu water, which almost like got him way further in the match. So I think Matthew's prep was actually pretty well done. I don't know what he would have done. I don't know what he would have done better, but I mean, 2 Pokemon being hurt in a 4-0 loss is definitely a reason.
How much of the team, I mean, he's really good compared to his age. He's just a newbie at this point, but I don't think he's bad.
No, I raised him well.
Teach him a little bit VGC and just start sending him to competitions.
Well, I don't know shit about VGC, so I guess maybe somebody else.
We can. There are 3 or 4 VGC players in the server.
Right.
Just like we can coach him, and then he'll be. He's still at junior's age, right?
I don't know. I honestly don't know nothing about
Yeah. Like there's a good money in that. We're gonna make him famous. Okay, next Wolfie is coming.
And speaking of good VGC players, we're gonna be seeing a lot of them in the future. So let's get down to number 9, which is another vet, the Winslow Wigglytuffs, coached by Fuzzlekins. Okan, you got this one.
Yeah, I don't think she made any mistakes with the prep. Her prep was good. Her play was also actually good, but she also made the same mistake twice. She realized the Momo was choiced, and then when Momo was locked in the ice shard twice, she switched into a mon that was almost dead. So the ice shard could have just picked it up. She had safer switches, and she realized it both times. When she got in, she was like, "Oh fuck!" But still, she made the same mistake twice. That's why she lost. She could have won. It was a close game.
Yeah.
And his opponent really prepped and played well as well.
Yeah.
Despite that, she could have just won if she didn't make the same mistake. So the second point goes to her from me.
I agree with that. She did also get completely tricked with the Zoroark, but while watching that match, I also was like, oh, like Serena gets flamethrower? I didn't even know that. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was I thought it was still Serena for like an entire day until like later that day I was talking to Sam and he told me it wasn't. I was like, oh my god, I'm an idiot. Anyway,
I understand. Like while watching, I understand that was Zoroark, because like you wouldn't bring Serena against Skarmory, I think, right?
yeah.
Skarmory or Corviknight. One had Skarmory, one had Corviknight. I don't remember.
I believe.
But like, I mean, she might have think that was gonna rapid spin or just U-turn. Serena can do both, so like she might have just forgot it for a second. And like, how much are we playing against Zoroark to be just that alert about Zoroark? So
Yeah,
I understand that one.
Successful in the league before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say generally, I wouldn't really take this loss as too much of a big deal for Fuzzlekin. She always bounces back. She's gonna be right in the mix of things like she always is. And I think she'll be fine in the long run. All right.
Let's go to my boy.
Oh yeah. Next up, with the poorly fitting logo, we got Paul. Logo almost fits in there. This was a really good game, honestly.
Yeah.
I thought.
It was closer than the 4-0.
Yeah, that's definitely, because if one more of Bryce's Pokemon dies, he loses the game pretty much.
Yeah. But I think the main problem was he didn't have any hazard removal, and Ercoint was a really important defensive one for him. Ercoint is a good Excadrill Lancer.
Right.
And because it was, I think, leftovers in. I'm not sure.
I believe so.
It wasn't boot, so it took 25% in every switch because there were no removal, and it had to switch, so it couldn't wall anything he wanted it to wall.
Yeah.
So that was the main reason for the loss, I think. But still, it was actually closer than it looked, and it's Paul. So either he wins or lose. You just gotta take it with a grain of salt,
And another thing you add on to this is that Paul didn't bring his best Pokemon. Rillaboom didn't even see the field this week. Right, I know. Talking to Bryce beforehand, he was absolutely terrified of it, and the Rillaboom didn't come, which changed the match a lot. I think if Rillaboom was there, it definitely would have been a different match. I don't know if he won, but
yeah, actually, that should have been a minus. He didn't bring Rillaboom against the S.I.M.P team. Like,
yeah, I didn't.
It seems like a no-brainer, to be honest.
Well, yeah, because I remember like he was so scared that he was running physical defense Togekiss for it. It ended up helping out with
That's the common Rillaboom answer, though.
Yeah,
physical defense Togekiss.
We were very surprised that he didn't bring it. I remember because I was watching the game. I was very surprised he didn't bring it. So I think that moves him up a little bit just because he had a really good match against a decent player with not his best Pokemon playing. So who
Yeah,
knows?
and that actually helps him a little bit in the sense that while most people use their good months this week, first week, most people use their shiny new tools. Like you use both of your Urshifu in the
Yeah,
same week.
yeah, you
So if
got
you
it.
use them again next week, and then you're not going to be able to use them again in the third week because of our fatigue rule.
Right.
And he has his Urshifu rested. Oh no, sorry, Rillaboom rested. He can swap out, and he has the freshness that can go with it. So
Right.
even that puts him a little bit higher than some of the other teams.
Right. And yeah, I 100% agree with you. We're gonna get to me in a little bit, but I think Paul is in a perfect position to pick up a couple of quick wins, getting 1-1, 2-1 kind of area. Again, like Fuzzlekins, I don't really think this loss means that much for him because again, his best Pokemon wasn't even playing, and I don't think this loss speaks to him doing worse than we expected. I think it speaks more to Bryce doing better than we expected, and we're gonna get to Bryce pretty soon as well. So let's go on to number 7, which is the Seattle Gyarados. Now, I'll be honest. I actually had this team ranked above one of the teams that won,
Yeah,
just because. There are no ties really in Pokemon, but if you had to say a match that's almost like a tie, it's basically this one. It came down to a roll on the last move of the game.
we 3 people voted for the power rankings, and actually this one and the next one had the same points. I just put this one lower because it lost and the other one won.
Right, right, right,
So actually they're at the same point. And yeah, it was a really close game. I think there's 2 misplays, which first one was Terrakion was weakened for nothing.
right.
It stayed up against Claydol. It can't do anything to Claydol. I think it was a really physically bulky Claydol because it didn't took much from the Stone Ages.
I believe it was Stone Edge. I will say I think his idea coming into it was to just set up stealth rocks and die because that's usually what Terrakion does. But what happened was that Sam just didn't kill it, so he was like, I'll just leave it in to die," which is a mindset that you can get into, but I would usually try to avoid because you never know when a half health Terrakion can come in handy and kill something later on.
Can't Claydol spin though? It can spin, right?
Yeah,
So you don't want to die against a spinner. That's my issue with that.
that's fair.
So it was like you set it up, you're still healthy, just switch out, and even if it spins, you have another chance to set it up later.
Yeah, no, that's
And
100%.
the other one is the outrage with Dracovish, which is, Dracovish Vicious Rant is the right move to click 99% of the time. And the other 1% of the time you had to click the sleep talk because you're asleep. So I think
Or they have a Gastrodon on their team, which I don't believe. So
maybe. I don't think he had a water absorb. I don't know why the outrage was. Yeah, he had the Rotomo,
right,
which
which
I think took 40% or something from Fish's Rant before I remember the game a little bit.
right.
So yeah, I think still the correct play was the Fish's Rant all the time because outrage doesn't do that much because it's 120 based or 130.
It's 120, and it's
120, right?
yeah,
So
and it
not
doesn't
as
get
high
strong
as the
job
Fisher
boost.
strengths, and yeah, no strong jaw boost. So overall, it's like, and Dracovish actually has 90 base attack. I think
Yeah,
it's not too high. The strength comes from the Fisher strength. So I think the outrage was the wrong move. It couldn't do much to anything. It allowed free switches,
yeah,
and that was also at the last moments. It was a cause of loss of momentum.
yeah, and again, I mean, we're really picking hairs at this point. He lost on a roll. I mean, call it
Yeah,
what it is.
that's true.
He lost on a roll, and I think that's why we have him higher than the other ones because even though there were some slight nitpicks, he played well enough with predictions. And even though Sam was playing a little predictable, reading what Sam was going to do and switching into the appropriate Pokemon, that he definitely deserves to be classified among the winners, even though he didn't win.
Yeah.
All right.
Good job, man.
Yeah, exactly. So talking about the winners, we're gonna get into pretty much everyone that won now. And the first, I believe, is the Hartford Hustle. Wow. Okay, we got the wrong logo. I will say the T-posing flapple is the preferred logo, but we'll
Hang
ignore
on,
we'll ignore
I'm coming.
that right now. I'll talk for a little bit while some Turkish music plays in the background. Um,
Okay,
this
sorry.
overall, no, you're chilling, bro. You're chilling. Um, this was a this was an interesting first week, definitely for the Hartford Hustle. Okan, you're probably more of an expert on this game than I was. I watched it, but it was the first game I watched, so I don't remember too much of it. I remember the Earth Power on Dracozolt, but that's pretty much all I remember. You can get it.
Dracozolt was special. It said it wasn't hustle. I think it was volt absorb. I don't
Yeah.
remember what was it trying to counter. Like Galvantula? I
Um,
mean, if he was trying to counter Galvantula with against that team,
it could have been Raichu alone.
there's also that. Yeah, I mean, he had interesting sets, and that's the thing he should do with that team because out of all the teams, he is the memeiest, and he, I would say, like the, I would say the weakest team because of all the, it has a potential to do so much, but like the
You have to know.
baseline is the lowest. You have to just pop on. You have to do some stuff to be good. So he has to create some interesting sets and just be different all the time. Like he has that options. He has Mew, which is I think the most versatile mon. Special Dracozolt was a good start, and he didn't use Melton this week, so he can use it next week. That's an advantage.
Yep, that's facts.
Yeah. So I think he did fine, but out of the winning teams, I can see why he's uh, like ranked the last because yeah, he there wasn't his win wasn't as clear as some of the others,
Right. And
and
he also brought all of his best mons, pretty much. I mean,
yeah,
he
exactly.
brought the A team. He definitely brought the A team. I think that another thing that helps with this team is that you have to calc so carefully for all of the hustle mons to calc all of what their damage does that it leaves him room to bring these interesting sets because you're so busy calculating for the hustle stats that you're not even really going to be able to fit in counters for the lesser known sets for his teams. And I
Most of your defensive options are gonna be physical because of all the hustle.
Yeah. So I mean, if you can run special Dracozolt, it's probably gonna work. No one's really gonna have any special walls against you, right?
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
So next up, we have got the Salisbury Snorlax. I would personally say, no offense to Bryce, definitely one of the bigger surprises, going 4-0 against one of the more veteran players in Paul. Um, I will say I think Bryce definitely brought some really interesting Pokemon. Again, I think defensive Togekiss was great for this team. Um, I think I honestly wouldn't have brought Hippowdon. I think Hippowdon was definitely a bold move considering the Rillaboom on the other team, but it 100% paid off. I mean,
Rillaboom and 4 different Watermons. I think
yeah,
3 or 4. Paul has a lot of Watermons.
he does. And I mean, Bryce pretty much knew that Hippowdon was only there for sand and used it accordingly. Like when he sacked it off, I thought that was a great sack off when he switched it in to die just to get sand up one last time. And I think he made a lot of great plays down the stretch that won him the game. Um, a lot of great reads on what Paul was doing. There were a few 50-50s that he won near the end of the game, like with the slow bro. And I think Togekiss showed how dangerous it can be with its flinch game. I mean, Togekiss can win you pretty
Yeah.
much any game if you flinch enough times. That's pretty much how it is.
I mean, while I agree that Hippo seems like a bad choice, then again, due to the fatigue rule, like you're not gonna be able to bring the same one two times like 3 times in a row. So you kind of have to pair Hippo with Excadrill because you don't want them to be separated. One can, the other one can't. So you just want to pair them all the time. So I don't think that's too bad. But my main question, first time I saw the matchup, I was like, okay, he doesn't have any Arakan switcher. Like the best one probably was Togekiss.
Right.
I'm pretty sure even the most defensive Togekiss gets like 40% from liquidation.
Right.
And like with descent or possible rock, whatever, I don't think that is good enough. I'm also not remembering his team that much, but people are forgetting that Araquint is a threat. It's not just there to set webs.
Right.
You know, it is a solid threat that can just annihilate offense.
Right. And I 100% agree with that. I think one of Bryce's key moves is bring X-Cloud. I'll be honest, like I didn't think he would bring X-Cloud, but he ended up bringing it, and it ended up being like almost the perfect matchup against Paul's team because Bryce had a lot of Pokemon that when Slowbro switches in could easily switch in against it and just wreak havoc on Paul's team. I think that's why Paul lost is because Bryce had so many Pokemon that dominated Slowbro that eventually Paul had to either let it die or let everything else on his team die, which just opened everything else up.
And the low tier mons like were really effective in this game, which
Yeah.
helps both teams because they did neither use their best mons. No, not. I think Bryce used it, but
Bryce actually, I
still,
think his best is Excadrill. He did not bring Toxapex though.
yeah. But like, you don't want Toxapex to be your best mon, to be honest. As a
You're,
stall player, you don't want Toxapex to be your best mon. Like,
yeah, I was about to say you're the aficionado on that, so I
yeah,
would take it from you. Bryce also has a lot of Pokemon above 10 points. He has, well, all of his Pokemon except for two are worth more than 9 points. So he has a pretty deep team. Or all of them except for three. He has a lot of Pokemon that are in that kind of good to really good area. So he can really interchange those kind of Pokemon out, and those Pokemon stepped up this week for him.
exactly.
All right, so number 4, we've got the Orlando Apollitoads, and if you've been in this league for a while, seeing Sam at number 4 may be surprising. I think Sam's won this league 3 times out of like
Not
this,
this league. This
not
league,
this league, but
we're in the first season right now.
out of leagues that we've done, Sam's won probably like 3 out of 7 or something like that. So
Yeah.
seeing him at 4 is pretty interesting. Um,
Sam's never at the first though, right? Because he, I think, pops up late.
yeah, Sam
Like he
always
learns the teams, he learns the weaknesses,
mm-hmm,
and he gets better.
100%. Well, I totally agree. Sam is definitely a player that learns how to use the team as the year goes along. Although I think with his team this year, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. He doesn't have any Pokemon that are too complex. I mean, Darmanitan, Chansey, Clefable, Gengar, Weavile, Cobalion even. It's all of his Pokemon are pretty straightforward. You know what I mean? I mean, so
Yeah, that's I agree. Like but he also uh like when the season ends, he knows all the teams.
yeah,
That's my point, and he knows the play styles as well. And this first week was against the opponent he never played before,
right, right,
so I'll give it to that. I think he'll get better. Coming to this game, we said it was real close. I think my main problem with him is I think he misused the Mantine. Okay, that was Mantine. He misused Mantine because Mantine was obviously his Dracovish answer, and it was a good Dracovish answer. And I think he used it against Sneasel or Weavile,
I,
something like that.
yeah. It was
And
he
I
backed
think
up.
Sneasel. Oh, he has the Weavile. Okay, the opponent had Sneasel. So I don't think that was a great move because Dracovish could have just, if Rotom got a little bit weaker, Dracovish could have come late game and just clicked the Fishes Rant. Even without getting Rotom weaker, Dracovish could have just came in and clicked the Fishes Rant, and the game could still be different.
Right. And I think that what probably wasn't the best play. And again, he's getting used to the rules, so I understand it. Probably wasn't the best play switching in Weevil like that. Just because you know it can get injured if it's a super effective move. Even if it's a prediction, you don't want to risk that. You know what I mean?
I don't think he expected it though. That was like it died to flash cannon from the Age Slash, but
I,
Age Slash was spamming Shadow Ball, and it changed in the last second again. Oh yeah, I remember. Age Slash was Shadow Balling the Mantine while Mantine was roosting.
yeah.
So I can understand he just probably expect another Shadow Ball, and he thought, I could have just come and click knockoff.
But
And
even then, I mean, that's one king shield. You're down.
yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, Vival is never really a switch in, and
And
it cost him.
even Wheelbell doesn't even really beat Ag Slash because I mean, even if it's in its defensive form, knockoff probably doesn't kill, and then he'll just kill you with flash cannon.
I don't know the set, to be honest. Like, was he sub? Was he Swords Dance?
I believe he
He
was
had
sub.
options. He had options. He could have just sub on the King's Shield and then, you
Yeah,
know.
I think Sam pulled a major me move and just got bored, so he switched into it. Which, or maybe he was scared of a special defense drop, which I understand. But in this league, you can't make too many dangerous plays like that, or else something will get hurt.
Yeah, because like now he can't use V-Vile, and he didn't use V-Vile this week. He brought V-Vile, but he didn't use it. It just died as soon as it hit the field.
Exactly.
But I think he saved Gengar pretty well. He
Yeah.
just played. He figured his out, and then he used it. So I think that was good. That won him the game.
Right. And we're talking way too much about the negatives here. I mean, it's just because it's Sam. I mean, he's
That's
an
the point
expected.
of the. No, I got my wine. That's the point of it. I'm just gonna shit on everyone. I just lost. I know my bad, and I'm just gonna tell everyone what they did wrong. That's the fun of it. No?
that I mean that, that
That's
that's
why I'm here in the midnight.
I mean that's absolutely why we're doing this 100%. But I mean, a lot of this from Sam is just because we expect him to be the best. He's been the
Yeah,
best for so long. You expect him to be the best player in the league. And whenever he wins a close game or he gets lucky because he wins because he gets lucky, you notice
yeah.
that.
Just know that Sam, when you do not 6-0 people, were just disappointed in you.
Exactly. I'm not mad at you, Sam. I'm just disappointed. So
Yeah.
let's move on to somebody way cooler than Sam. This guy right here. Um, I,
You go first this time.
yeah. Okay. So, admittedly, I did beat a helpless kid, Matthew. I know you don't watch these power rankings and you're never going to see this, so I absolutely dominated you 100%. You can't argue back. But yeah. I mean, I don't. It was a pretty easy win, honestly. I mean, it wasn't that close of a game. I was never really in that much fear of losing. He brought a lot of good setup, but at the end of the day, he brought two Pokemon that were basically useless against a rain team in
Yeah.
Chandelier, and I forget the other one was. The middle one died. Gyarados because my Shedinja. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
it wasn't his fault. He prepped decently. It was just he guessed wrong, which against my team.
That's kind of like we always said that's your team's strength, but you used rain this week, and if you use it again, then
You won't
I
have a
think
chance.
it's
You know what I'm
yeah,
doing.
yeah. That's the point. The league actually, the rules are against you here because your main strength is the unpredictability.
Right. And so I think that's probably why I'm third. And I didn't put myself. I think I put myself third. Is because I used pretty much my A team. I mean, I used both of my Urshirafus. I used my best rain Pokemon and rain setter. And I probably didn't need to. I don't even think Kingdra touched the field once.
I don't think so either. I think
Yeah.
other than the Shedinja, you brought your top months. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's going to be something I need to watch out for more, and that's why I'm at 3. I won pretty comfortably, but I used all my best Pokemon to do it.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
All right, I think that's enough.
That's my yeah. Like
Yeah.
I said, whatever I bad thing I wanna say, I said it on the screen, so I'm not gonna speak more.
I have no shame. I'll punch a kid if I need to. I'll do anything to win this. That's what happens when you pull up in Camden, bro. All right. So now that we're done with the boring old people, let's talk about the new just all of like the new people that pretty much came in week 1 and dominated. We saw Bryce already. We saw the Gyarados who put up a great fight against Sam, who's I think has more championships than anyone here.
Sorry
Um,
for not knowing your names yet, guys. We will learn.
Yeah, I know one of I know there's yeah, what, I'm not even gonna try. Um, so let's talk about the Westchester Lulus, and more specifically, I mean, we gotta talk about King Botch. I mean, he's my favorite.
Yeah, he he destroyed me. Like I said, I wasn't prepped for it, and I mean, for me, all the drawdowns were always like, either a Southwest or Specs. I never knew they could use Scarf. I didn't know it was allowed. And it actually did so much. That was a good prep. Other than drawdown, what was good prep? I think I really wonder what was the Azumarill set. It was really offensive. It wasn't Life Orb. I don't know what set that was.
I've been
It
banned.
wasn't. It wasn't banned. It changed moves.
Hmm.
It wasn't Life Orb. It didn't set up, and it did great damage. I don't know what was that,
Huh.
but yeah, that was the weirdest one for me. I still don't know. Please just give it to us in the comments, and don't forget to like it.
So you gotta like,
And
share, and subscribe.
yeah,
We'll
yeah.
say that at the end.
And other than that, the one misplay was Talonflame. I think
Yeah.
Talonflame died versus Sunslash, and it at first it's like tried brave birding it and did like 25% or something, and against him I just rapid spin first and then killed it with truck slide. So he stayed in, he roosted, he brave bird, he sword stance at the last second. Even with sword stance you're just gonna do 50%, and you gotta expect Sunslash to have rock slide or something like that.
Right. Right.
And the Talonflame play was the I think the Tyranitar died just for setting rocks.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was definitely
yeah,
why I think somebody had him first. I don't remember which one of us had him first, but I know I had him second just for the Tyranitar play. I mean, Tyranitar is one of the bulkiest Pokemon in the game, and it felt kind of wasted.
yeah. Tyranitar was versus Arceus Fairy. No, not Arceus Fairy. Silvally Fairy, and it was tweet KO'd. Like I don't know. Maybe he expected parting shots. Maybe he didn't expect me to just click the multi shot, which was free, to be honest. He didn't have a multi shot switch other than Talonflame. I don't think Talonflame can leave two of those because multi shot is broken. Multi attack, sorry, not multi shot. Like it with 120 base power, it's like so strong. And yeah, he didn't exactly have great switch-ins to that, but he's hacked Tyranitar just for drugs. And uh, I could have been Adamant, which could have just one-shot it. He didn't play around that as well. Other than that, yeah, Duraludon saved him, to be honest. Duraludon was so bad. Kingbug was so bad for me. It was great for him, and the Azumarill was also really good for him to stop my. But to be honest, I didn't expect Azumarill. I expected Primarina, which I thought was better. But then, once again, looking at his team, he does have all the special attackers, and I think maybe he tried to divide them for week 1, week 2. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing. I mean, he has the luxury of having two Pokemon that basically do the same exact thing on different sides. With the Zoomer on the
Yeah,
physical side and Primarina on the special side, he can bring one week and then one another week and never have them be fatigued. So, I think that was underratedly a great move on his part in the draft, especially because Primarina was one of his last picks. I believe it was his second to last pick. So he just picked it up at the end. Great backup. You can basically bring the same Pokemon every week.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and yeah, I think definitely a great example of the new people that are coming in and kind of dominating.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, other than Talonflame, and maybe Torrenter. I don't see a misplay. I think the prep was good. The play was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Close.
Let's go on. Speaking of that wave, number one, we got the Kansas City Caldios with. I don't know if you just found that image. I didn't know that.
I found that image. He didn't have anything. The Spencer didn't have anything, and Ryan had it on the dock. But I took all the photos from the Discord where we shared it with the team names.
Right.
So Ryan didn't put it there. So I had to find one myself. I didn't know there was one in the doc. So
Well,
these three are my creations, and I think it fits to him.
well,
I think he's
before.
gonna use it now.
Yeah, I mean, before we even, yeah, I'm down to make that the official logo of the Kansas City Caldios. But I will say I was very impressed with Yewen's gameplay here. I was very impressed. I really think that he was able to. I think that was a high level play, trying to make the Mammoth Swine seem like it was scarfed, even though it was banded. Because that's kind of something that you don't really get taught. You just kind of figure out like,
Yeah.
oh, this is maybe I could figure out a way to do this. So I think just even doing something like that kind of shows me right away that he knows what he's doing. And obviously, winning a match while legitimately using Zoroark is pretty hard in a competitive setting. And not only winning it with it, but using it well, and getting like a pretty good kill with it. I think he might have just been flexing. I mean, he might have just been flexing, but I'll be honest. I mean, if he's flexing, then I'm loving it. I'm loving
Even scarier than.
Yeah, I mean, like the way I play. I mean, I brought Shedinja in my match. I love seeing you like if you know what you're doing, show off that you know what you're doing. Do some fun stuff while you're winning. That's what this league's all about. That's why I picked him first.
Exactly. But yeah, I think so. He played well. I don't see mistakes too much. I don't remember seeing any mistake, to be honest. Like there were some hacks in the game, but it didn't affect too much the outcome.
Right.
And like you said, the Memo Swine play was next level. I really liked it. Other than that, yeah, he knew his outs. Like he said, Serena, which could have won in the end as well. Overall, yeah, he deserved the first place in the first week.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hope he can keep it up. He, as a necessary note from him, he is a bad player. We shouldn't just consider him good and prep harder. And this is coming from the player itself because, you know,
And that's what he
he
said.
instructed me, was told that you just, like bring whatever, don't prep too hard.
But I think that that vibe is kind of what I got from the first week. I think everybody that's been in the league before was kind of like, oh, let's feel out these new guys. And then they came over and pretty much rolled us over. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, all of the like we can be honest. I mean, I hope everyone's watching this because I mean, this is not the same league that it used to be. It's not the same people winning that.
I'm pumped now. It's
It's
about
not. It's not just going to be Seth. If you don't know Seth, he would win every other league. Seth versus Sam in the finals, and then every game is just a build up to that. Clearly, the new people have come in. They're coming in to stay, and it looks like the vets like Paul, Sam, me, Okan, Fuzzlekins. We got to step up our game if we want to keep up. That's honestly
exactly.
so far, you know what I mean? And just to top that all off, emphasize that your week one MVP Pokemon, as we've talked about, King Botch. I mean, this guy just wrecked house. The Choice Scarf is such an innovative set. Love to see that. And the name is dope. That's honestly why he got my.
With the kill differential, I don't think he's the MVP. I think there is one with 4 kills.
Technically, yes, but if it was a team vote for MVP, I'm picking King Botch off.
Definitely. Out of 3 pimps, all 3 voted for Duraldon, King Bach, because like the others, I think the 4-kill one explode. I'm not sure, but whatever it was, it just revenge killed. But Duraldon won the game.
Absolutely.
Without the Duraldon, the game was so different.
Absolutely.
So it deserves, the picture is all deserved. Everything. Good job. And
Absolutely.
good luck in the next weeks as well.
Yeah, we will be seeing y'all again. Vets, we gotta step it up. These new guys are kicking our butts, and that's pretty much it. I guess we'll see what happens in week 2.
Yeah.
Peace
Guys,
out.
don't forget to like and subscribe and share it with your friends and prep and play your games again early, please.
Yep. All
See
right.
you next week.
From one pimp to another, keep on pimping.